Hi, welcome back to Kickincrochet. Today I've got a scarf pattern for you. My cat decided to make a bed on it, so I'm sorry about the cat hair. Okay, so this one is another really simple pattern. It's just a one row repeat once you get past the first starting rows, so you can make it really easily as long as you want. I used a fingering weight yarn. The one I used is palette fingering weight yarn. I used 3 different colors. I don't actually remember the names of the colors. I'll have to look it up. Toffee is the kind of golden mustard color, and then a dark blue and this kind of sage green. So you'll need this yarn. I made mine kind of oversized, so it's actually quite big. Mine is over 90 inches long, so it's really quite long. It's 94 inches. 95 inches long and about 10 inches wide. So you can make it as long as or short as you want. If you want kind of an oversized one like I did, you'll need 3 balls of whatever your starting color is, 2 balls of each of your other 2 colors. And again, you can really play with whatever striping pattern you want. I made mine so that both of the ends are the toffee, and then there's the blue, and then the very middle is the sage green. So you can play with the colors, do whatever you want there. I'm gonna do, again, just kind of a smaller sample just to show you the stitch pattern, and then once you get the hang of that, you'll be able to kind of be off and running making your own project. Okay, so again, I've got the palette fingering weight yarn. You can use any fingering weight yarn you'd like. I also have a size F crochet hook. This one's a Clover Soft Touch. They're one of my favorite hooks. So, and they're also not terribly expensive. It's usually, I think, like $8 for a single hook, or you can get a whole set of them. All right, so to start, we're going to start with the starting chain. Normally, I do prefer to start with foundation stitches, but with this particular pattern, you really can't. You have to start with a starting chain. So you're going to start with any multiple of 6 stitches plus 1. So for the scarf that I made that ended up about 10 inches wide, I used 73 stitches for my starting chain. I'm going to use probably 25 just for this sample, or maybe even just 19. So any multiple of 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that seems like a good little sample here. And then one more. So multiple of 6 and then one more. So that is the starting chain. Now you're going to do a double crochet in the 4th chain from your hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 4th chain from my hook. I try to work in the back bumps most of the time. On this pattern, when I did it, actually I didn't bother because it just doesn't matter that much. But here I did. So a double crochet in the 4th chain from my hook. Now chain 3. Skip 1 stitch on your chain and do a double crochet in the next stitch. Now chain 1 and skip 3 stitches on your starting chain. So 1, 2, 3. I'll do a double crochet in the next chain there. Chain 3, skip 1 stitch, double crochet in the next, chain 1, skip 3, 1, 2, 3, double crochet in the next, chain 3, skip 1 on your bottom chain and double crochet in the next, and then in your very last stitch you're just going to work a half double crochet. So this is what your starting chain should look like. So the repeat is, so once you do this first one, you've got the double crochet, chain 3, double crochet. This is really where the repeat starts. So chain 1, skip 3, double crochet, chain 3, skip 1, double crochet. So you can kind of see whenever we're chaining 1 on the top, we're skipping 3 on the bottom, and whenever we're chaining 3 on the top, we're skipping 1 on the bottom, and you just want to start and end with this V, and each side has a double crochet. So that starting chain, we skipped 3 chains, that counts as your starting half double crochet. So that is the setup row, and actually there's one more setup row and then we get into the repeating pattern. So now we're going to chain 2, and I like to try and keep this a little bit loose just to make it easier to work into. Chain 2, and that counts as a half double crochet, and turn the work over. So now we've turned around, our chain 2 counts as a half double crochet, and now things get a little bit tricky. So we're going to do a double crochet working over this chain into our skipped chain 1. So we're going to find our skipped stitch here on the bottom. We're going to work into that. But we want to make sure we're going under that chain 3 also. So we're picking up that skipped stitch and going under the chain 3. I'll pull up a loop. And you can pull this up a little bit. You can really kind of play with it and see how you like your stitch to look, but you do want to pull it up a little bit. And then finish the double crochet. Now chain 3. And we'll do a double crochet in the same place. Again, pull it up the same length that you did on the first one. Every double crochet you make from here on out, you should pull up the same amount. Now chain 1. And we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to find our skipped chain 1. We don't worry about this skipped chain 3, it can just hang out there. We just want our skipped chain 1. We're going to double crochet into that chain 1 and pick up this chain 3. So we're going over both of those. So we'll double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the same spot. So you can kind of see what this is looking like here. We're creating kind of a V within that V that we already had by picking up into that chain 1 space. I'll do one more of those. Sorry. So I did the double crochet, I need to chain 1, and now we'll do the same thing here. So we'll find our skipped chain 1. Again, we're not worrying about the chain 3 here. We're going past that, past the next double crochet to our next skipped chain 1 space on our very starting chain. And also picking up the chain 3 above it. We'll do a double crochet, chain 3, and double crochet in the same space. Now, every row always starts and ends with a half double crochet. So here, if you're looking at this kind of mess, you've got, this is our double crochet here. So this is the top of our double crochet. This is the top of our half double crochet or our starting chain. So we want to work into the top of that half double crochet, and we're going to just do a half double. So that is our 2 starting chains, or starting rows. So now the next row is what you're going to repeat every time. So it's just the same every time you do it. So we'll start with chain 2. It counts as our starting half double crochet. And we'll turn the work over. And now here we've got our chain 3 from this row. And if you look in here, you can kind of pick apart. This is the chain 3 from the row below. So it's in between those 2 double crochets. If you lift it up a little bit, you can find the chain 3 from the row below. And usually I just find it with my hook, but I wanted to pull it up a little bit to help you find it. So we're going to double crochet around this chain 3. So the chain 3 from 2 rows below, and we're going to pick up the chain 3 from the previous row. So we're going to do a double crochet there, chain 3, and do another double crochet in the same place. Now the trickiest part about this is picking up that loop in the correct place, and if you look on the back, you have to be a little careful because sometimes it's really easy to accidentally go through one of these loops from the previous double crochets, and it's not a huge problem if you do. It just messes up the pattern a little bit. It's not super noticeable, but if you kind of be aware of that and try and take some care not to do that, it will help your project look better. Okay, so now chain 1, then we're going to do the same thing in our next little V. We're going to go in, and I like to just kind of pull this to the side a little bit, this other double crochet, and that helps me be able to find that chain 3. So here's the chain 3 from the row below, 2 rows below rather, and I'm going to work over both of those chain 3s. Double crochet, chain 3, double crochet. All right, so I changed the background here just because I think it was kind of harder to see against the white. So I'm going to keep going, and hopefully that helps you kind of see what I'm doing a little bit better with this color. Okay, so I did that V. Now I'm going to chain 1. And here, I'm going to reach in and pull this stitch a little bit over if you need to, and pull up that chain 3 from the previous row. And this gets a little bit easier after the setup row. So there's our 2 loops. Chain 3 from this row, from this previous row, and 2 rows below. So we're going to grab that loop, that chain 3, make sure I'm not catching anything on the back, and do a double crochet, chain 3, double crochet. And then again, we're just going to end with a half double crochet in our turn chain. So now we're going to just repeat this row for our entire length until it's as long as we want it to be. So I'll do one more row just to try and show again what I'm doing here. So chain 2 counts as a half double crochet. Now we're going to do a double crochet across this chain 3 and the chain 3 from the row below. So we're going to go in here, kind of find that chain 3 and separate it out a little bit. 1, 2, and then go over both of those chains. Double crochet, chain 3, double crochet, then chain 1. Again, find the V. We're going to find that double crochet from the row before, or sorry, that chain 3 from the row before. Double crochet around both of those chains, and chain 3, and double crochet, and chain 1. One more time. Find the double or the chain 3 from 2 rows below. Go over both of those rows, those chains. So double crochet, chain 3, and double crochet in the same place. And then you'll finish it with a half double crochet in the turn chain. Okay, so that is our little pattern. I just think it's so pretty. It is kind of a little bit difficult, a little bit maybe fiddly, but it's beautiful. And when I finished this, I didn't actually do anything different. I just left one edge looking like this and one edge looking like that, because to me they look so similar that unless you look closely, you really can't tell that it's different. And again, this is a free pattern on my blog. You can get it, the written pattern, in the description of the video. Happy crocheting!